Okay, just try. You can make editing after that, right? Just allow recording, yes.
Yes.
Здравейте, приятели на Холистик! Днес гост на нашата рубрика Холистик и приятели е Роман Бучименски. С него ще открием една серия от срещи, в които ще говорим за честоти, електромагнитни полета и финни вибрации, които правят своето въздействие върху всички живи същества на тази планета, че дори върху нея самата. Но нека първо ви разкажа малко за нашия гост. Роман е основател и директор на Вия хомеопатика, един от водещите хомеопати в Израел, магистър по медицински науки с диплома от университета в Тел Авив, класически хомеопат, експерт по холистична медицина, член на Израелската асоциация по класическа хомеопатия, завършил Академията по класическа хомеопатия на Джордж Витулка с отличие. Роман има 38 годишен клиничен опит, благодарение на който ефективно помага на много хора и ги лекува. Освен това, той е организатор на повече от 450 международни хомеопатични холистични семинари. Ръководи хомеопатичната онлайн клиника Вия хомеопатика Хотлайн от 2020 година. Основава международния доброволчески проект Гореща линия за хомеопатия първа помощ през 2020-2021 година. Изнася лекции по хомеопатия и холистичен начин на живот. Аз се запознах с Роман миналата година, след като участвах в едно глобално доказване, то беше 7-то поред. Роман го организира заедно с доктор Четна Шокла от Индия и с Али Науман, хомеопат, астролог и шаман. Защо споменавам това доказване? Защото то се явява много граничен камък в нашия разговор. Доказването на хомеопатичния препарат, който беше неизвестен за нас, се проведе в два аспекта. Имаше реална субстанция и имаше честота, която Роман и негови екип изпратиха по интернет. И така, ние днес няма да говорим за шунгита, по-скоро ще говорим, който беше лекарството на нашето доказване, ще си говорим за честотите. Здравствуй, дорогой Роман. Я очень рада увидеть тебя. Это разговор, продолжение нашей встречи в апреле, когда мы нашли столько общих тем, что просто обязаны были двигаться дальше. Ну, пожалуйста.
Здравейте. I'm so glad to talk to you, and I was so glad to see you in Sofia. And it was a special meeting. And your invitation was so in time because we are active now in topics that you suggested to discuss. And there are many things we can talk about and to bring some understanding, knowledge. And I'm waiting for your questions as well for your answers, because some questions I asked you in Sofia brought very interesting answers. I thought about them, and I'm glad to be here.
First, I'll continue in English because my Russian is a little bit rusty, you know. So tell me about your history with the Homeopathic Society in Bulgaria. What is your story with us?
I like Bulgaria. I have a lot of Bulgarian friends, and actually everything started when I was in Alonissos. We studied homeopathy in the International Academy, directed by George Vitulkas, and there are many colleagues from Bulgaria there. So we met and we decided to arrange several things in Bulgaria. We arranged many homeopathic seminars with Dr. Petrova and then with Roman Stoikov, and I worked with Peter Naidinov. Peter Naidinov is a very close friend of mine, and he is something. He is really a very good father for Bulgarian homeopathy. I appreciate him a lot, and this is a man of wisdom. So from the end of 1998, I think, we made a lot of homeopathic activities in mostly in Varna and in Sofia. We brought to Bulgaria many leaders and famous homeopaths from all around the world. Praful Vijayakar and Ajit Kulkarni and Evgeny Zafirio Eugenio and Franz Vermeulen and Mahesh Gandhi, many others. I don't remember now the whole list, but it was quite big. Dinesh Chavan, of course. And for me to come to Bulgaria, it always, first of all, homeopathy, friends, sea, and very taste food. It's really from a childhood. You will not find vegetables like in Bulgaria and other places now. It is like to touch something from childhood, and so, and now, you know, I'm very happy that everything is ready to come to Bulgaria once more with other projects, with other ideas, and not only to bring some separate homeopaths from different schools, but to bring actually a new method, maybe even next step for every homeopath, for each homeopathic clinic. We will talk about it.
Yes, actually, when I was thinking today about our meeting, and it came to me, I remember Carl Jung, who said that archetypes live in us, express themselves through us. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, he has Prometheus archetype in him. So it's strong in you. But first things first, let me start with my research. I did my homework to be ready for you. I sent you some links about Jacques Benveniste, a French immunologist who made 300 experiments for several years and proved that actually water has memory or creates imprints, or should we call it ghost molecules, that can make changes in the recipient. In 1988, the prestigious scientific journal Nature published the article with Benveniste's findings. The article concerned the inhibition of basophil degranulation by histamine at high dilution. Actually, it was the homeopathic product Apis mellifica, we know it well, and lung histamine. Trying to navigate between scientific and homeopathic world, Benveniste was forced not to include homeopathy, even as a word, in his article. And Apis and lung histamine were replaced only with anti-immunoglobulin at high dilutions. The controversial Benveniste findings had the capacity to change the world if they allow it. But things didn't stop here. Gradually, Benveniste escaped from the high dilutions and became defender of electromagnetic and digitized biology. Actually, he was not the first one. Austrian researchers working in the field of homeopathy managed, in association with firm of electronics, to record electromagnetic properties of thyroxine, a hormone secreted by the thyroid gland, which is essential for the growth, on a CD. It's very old now, so we are doing something else. And after that, they played the recording of tadpoles. These researchers managed to modify the metamorphosis of the tadpoles. So their system had the merit to demonstrate the possible digitization of the electromagnetic signals emitted by molecules in the range of radio frequencies. So this was the new beginning. And as the memory of the water as ghost molecules was not enough for Benveniste, he announced 4 years later that he was now capable of transferring molecule through water, and the distance was no longer an issue. And it was actually a telephone for molecules. He made maybe 30 experiments between Chicago and France. And in 1999, he went to Cambridge, the Newton's home, to make a conference on his experiments entitled Electromagnetically Activated Water and the Puzzle of Biological Signal. The video is still available on YouTube today. You just write Benveniste at Cavendish and it will go there. Benveniste suggested that the specific effects of biologically active molecules such as adrenaline, nicotine, and caffeine, and immunological signatures of viruses and bacteria can be recorded and digitized using a computer sound card, a keystroke later, and these signals can be winging their way across the globe, courtesy of internet. Biological systems far away from their activating molecules can then be triggered simply by playing back the recordings. It's like listening to Pavarotti in Elton John. Benveniste explained. We hear the sound and experience emotions, whether they are live on CD. It was in 1999, last year, we made homeopathic proving with actual real remedy. Here, the shungite and frequency of the same remedy, which you sent via internet. Tell me, Roman, how did your adventure with transmitting frequency started?
Yes, this is about shungite, but my adventure started from the beginning of COVID pandemic. And we know that it was not just pandemic, it was info pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about information. It was about need or desire of several groups to power on others. It was about to close people in their houses and to restrict their freedom. And it was about many, many other things. So almost in the beginning, in the beginning of COVID pandemic, I came with the idea to arrange an international hotline, first aid, homeopathic first aid service that was actually done quite quickly. I shared my idea with one colleague here in Israel, with Alina Levin, and we wrote a post in Facebook. And at the same day, Dr. Petrova from Moscow called us and said, I want to join. And in 1 week, we had more than 20 homeopaths. And in 1 month, we had several dozens homeopaths from all around the world to come together and volunteer in hotline first homeopathic aid service. So we worked very hardly, days and nights, and each of us brought his wish to help and knowledge, but we were restricted in many cases, because even you know the remedy, you know the potency, but how to supply this remedy, how to bring this remedy, how. So we started to arrange groups in internet in different cities, people who helped each other to bring remedies from home to home, from place to place, sometimes from cities to cities. We worked very closely with a lot of homeopathic pharmacies. Slowly, the hotline became a big organization, about 200 people, including more than 100 homeopaths from more than 20 countries, and we had a full volunteers to help with administration, logistics, and so on. But nevertheless, we had very strong obstacle to cure. And this obstacle I can define like we didn't have possibilities to supply a remedy in time. And one evening, one colleague called me and said, look, I have to tell you this story. I prescribed almost 2.5 weeks ago remedy to some lady. And she gets this remedy today and she called me, how can I take this remedy now? And I started to talk to her and this symptomatology changed. It is not the remedy I mentioned 2.5 weeks ago. What to do now? And this lady is more than 2 weeks in the bed and nobody can help her. And she almost without forces to bring to herself something from the fridge. I'm not talking to go out of the house and to bring some food. And it was a situation where, first of all, I had to help the doctor because doctor was in a very big stress and she almost cried. So we had a problem to supply the remedy. Even in this specific case, I remember the remedy for a new picture, actual now, we need to supply ammonium carbonicum, 30C, and we know remedy, we know potency, we know how to give it, in what homeopathic plan. And then I realized during this conversation that once my very close friend David Witko, he is famous English homeopath, he was first who introduced homeopathic software to homeopathy. He brought homeopathic software to London Royal Homeopathic Hospital. And once in his program, he used so-called digital remedies. You know, the conversation we had with my colleague from Moscow was very late in an evening. And usually it is not appropriate to call somebody in United Kingdom after 4 p.m. or maybe after 5 p.m. It's once David Witko was a guest of mine here in Israel, and when he saw the conversation is continue to come even after 8 or 9 p.m., he was very surprised, and he said, wow, how can you do it? We in England, you know, we close 4 p.m. and I called him 8 p.m. and he answered me. It was incredible. And since then, some mystic scenario started to express itself. I said, Dave, sorry to interrupt. Do you remember digital remedies? I arranged hotline. We have a lot of cases. Sometimes we cannot help because we are not able to supply. He said, okay, look, for many years, I'm not in this field, but I will give you a telephone number of somebody in the United States. He is not in this field as well for many years by his own reasons. You just send him an email. I had sent him an email and I received almost immediate answer. It is like everything started to open, you know, it's miracles. Hello, I'm here, miracles, please come. And we received ammonium carbonicum. We had sent this ammonium carbonicum, and frankly speaking, we did everything we could do then.
One question. You received MP3 file?
Yes. It was MP3 file, and we just sent this MP3 file to that lady, and
the magic worked. And the magic happened, yes.
And what happened after that, it was really, it changed my life. Because doctor from Moscow called me and she said, first of all, I will tell you something, you never will connect what I tell you with my name, family name, because I'm a doctor, I'm a PhD in medicine, I'm a scientist. I'm not ready that my name will be related to what happened now. But I have to tell you what happened now. And I said, yes, tell me. And she started to tell me a story very emotionally. Roma, she came from the bed. She went to the kitchen. She started to prepare for her food. She had a lot of energy to do this. Thank you very much. And she closed a telephone. And I understood that she closed a telephone because she was excited. And it was the first case I realized that we are going to use digital forms of homeopathic remedies. Because, you know, it was 4 years ago, and the feelings were as maybe these are last months of our life at this planet. Everything is closing, everything is restricting, everything is by government help. Many homeopaths and holistic physicians were punished here, and not only here, all around. And it is like Armageddon, it is apocalypse. Something wrong is going here. And let us do the best we can. And one of the bests was this case, and then another, and then another, and then was case from Italy, somebody in unit forex in reanimation, actually, unit for intensive help, and he was 66 days in coma. 66 days. And maybe this number is something about, I do not want to be over esoteric, because there are so many esoteric topics here. And somebody called to our colleague from hotline, and she said, give Rustox according to the symptoms. And how to do, we will send you a MP3 file, but it's a reanimation, intensive care unit. You cannot go there just like this. So another obstacle. We already have a remedy in a digital form. We know what to do. So now we find a nurse, we talk to nurse, and we ask her to help. And she said, yes. She took her telephone and she put with this MP3 near to this patient. And when in few days we received a picture of him preparing for himself spaghetti. He was out of the hospital. We said, whoa, what's going on here? Let us do more. Let us do more. And now every day, dozens of cases all around the world are helped with, we call now homeopathic frequencies. And actually, we developed a technology, and we are sure now that this is the next step, not in homeopathy, but in supplying homeopathy for sure. By the way, maybe this method will bring new thoughts and new possibilities, not only for administration of the remedy, but for homeopathic process itself.
I got goosebumps several times when you explained all that. Amazing, amazing. Who knows? I'm thinking now of Jacques Benveniste again, who dreamed that maybe one day we can transport our electromagnetic copy at the other end of the world. Who knows? Maybe it will happen.
It happens, and you know, who knew before that homeopaths and scientists will come together to discover and to explore new fields of consciousness. For example, I tell you something very. It is first time I release it. These days, we are holding a unique. I can say homeopathic, but it's not only homeopathic. Scientific, it's not only scientific. Medical, it's not only medical. Psychological, it's not only psychological experiment. And what we do, we invited people to participate in the experiment in 4 groups. In first group, we give a remedy in a form of globule. And at the second group, we gave a remedy in a form of frequency, the same remedy. So each group has his own satellite in a form of another group of people who received placebo in a form of globulus and placebo in a form of frequencies. Before people came to the experiment, they received a wide questionnaire to measure the psychological test. This questionnaire will answer levels of anxiety, levels of stress, well-being, and so on. When people came physically to the place in Tel Aviv, in very central place of Tel Aviv, and people from all around Israel came to this experiment. By the way, in the beginning, we were afraid where we will take 20 or maybe 40 people, and after we received more than 150 apply forms, and our capacity are only to make 15 people in a group, so we together make 60 measurements. 60 participants came at the same day, and it was 100% appearance. Now, before they start the experience at that same day after questionnaire, we measured blood pressure and saturation. After that, we measured electromagnetic field because Professor Konstantin Korotkov and his team came to Israel, and he uses very interesting equipment to see the aura of the person and to see the structure of chakras. And when I talk to you now in a scientific area, we are not afraid anymore to say these words because scientists for at least 20-30 years know that it is not only exist, but this is the field they have and started to discover. And I'm so happy that one of the pioneers of this field in science is participating in our experiment, and he took the measurement. He measured electromagnetic magnetic field of the person before they took a remedy or placebo, and immediately we will do it. Not immediately, but we will do it after 1 week, after 1 month. So we are collecting data, and I hope this experiment and these experiments in such kind of experiments will create a bridge between scientists and holistic practitioners, between general public and healers all around the world. And that's what we need, because in the beginning it was not a bridge, it was a wall, and Jean Benveniste was the first to meet this wall, unfortunately, or maybe we'll see that his personal tragedy brought a lot for humanity, and we have to be honored that we live at the same time like this wonderful scientist. By the way, Benveniste started his experiences with immunoglobulins, and this is, from esoteric point of view, nothing but strong link to the first experiment in homeopathy by founder of homeopathy, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. We remember that the first remedy Hahnemann brought to homeopathy is China. This is the bark of the tree, this is the wall, this is defense mechanism, and China as a wall we have in China. And by the way, there is a remedy, homeopathic remedy from China, wall, and there is a homeopathic remedy from Berlin, wall. And this is our mission, to bring the remedies from walls to humanity and to destroy walls that are not necessary at all. We have to remove them, and we have to become closer each other, to be in a synergy, to feel a concordia of our hearts. And maybe this is a direction we have to follow.
You remember China officinalis was one of the remedies for COVID as well, and China Hinin. So enough synchronicities there.
Yeah, and we remember also from where so-called COVID came from.
Yeah.
From what laboratory?
Yes. Tell me, I know that Harry van der Zee is your friend, and
A very close friend.
and he worked with the late Peter Chappell on the project PC Resonance Healing Remedies. Can you tell me more about this? I spoke with Peter Naidenov before, and he told me some interesting stories that they put some sounds on amplifiers, and something happened with the children. Tell me about it, please.
Yeah, by the way, I have this story here in my hand. If you want, if you don't mind, this is a story.
This is the story.
And because of these things, we have 3 of them in the one place. Millions of children in Africa are helped by homeopathy with these sounds. Millions. And we have data about it. And when I say we, first of all, it is ARHF. This is a non-profit organization, foundation, with a center in Holland, and director of this, head of this foundation is Dr. Harry van der Zee. And he started this work with Peter Chappell. And once when Peter was 60 years old, he wanted to make a birthday present for himself, and he thought, what I want to receive actually. I'm a homeopath, I'm a doctor, I treated a lot of people in England, in Europe, from all around the world. I helped to establish homeopathic schools in Eastern Europe. What else? And the thought came to him is, I have to find a remedy which will help people with AIDS. So he closed everything and he went to Ethiopia. And in Ethiopia, for about half a year, he tried to make all possible healings with classical homeopathy. He tried to find Genus epidemicus, but his results were not effective, not good enough. So he sent a letter to Harriman Derzi and to colleagues through Homeopathic Links journal. And he describes the situation. He said, maybe you will suggest some remedies, because I tried arsenicum, I tried other stuff. People sent him their suggestions. And once he made an experiment, and this experiment is described in a book of Dr. Peter Chappell and Harriman Derzi, the second Siminimo. And so with the help of God and providence and this experiment, he got a remedy. He went with this remedy to some hospice and said, I'm a homeopath, I want to help. And the priest in this hospice said, nothing to lose. You see this, dozens of people, they are going to die in 1 week. If you come in 1 week, they will not be here. So they started to give this remedy, new remedy, Peter Chappell prepared. And after 1 week, more than 90% of these people were alive. And these priests were waiting for Dr. Chappell in a gate of this hospice so enthusiastically. And then this new movement of using PC remedies, PC for Peter Chappell, started in Africa. And at some point, Peter just, like Benveniste, like Montagnier, like many others, thought that it is good to have this remedy not only in globus form, but in digital form as well. So this is a story. And by the way, there is a very nice film, Story of Hope and Love in Africa. I was one of the coordinators of this film. This film about what AMMA, ARHF Foundation, is doing in Africa. If you want, I will send the link of the film.
Yeah. And now I remember something important. Usually when we make provings, sometimes we have this phenomenon in the control group, the placebo group. Placebo group receives the symptoms of the remedy. And it's very interesting for me what will going to happen with your experiment, the last one, because now we're talking about morphic field, about Rupert Sheldrake, and because the world is one whole, if we can influence on this part of the world, the other may be changed too.
Absolutely, and you said it so nicely, the world is one. By the way, we started this experiment with a group of the filmmakers of the film The One Field. very famous film. If you want, I will send you a link as well. And Professor Korotkov is one of the figures in this film. Not only him, if you will see the names, the heroes of this film, you will be amazed how producer of this film brought them together. But now we are in the one field, and you and me know what will happen. We suggest that we know, but we assume that we know, but let us see what will happen with scientific tools, with homeopathic protocol, with psychological protocol. And when we will collect all data, this will be very interesting to know and to understand and to see and to explain. But for now, as much as possible, we have to be objective and to wait for results.
We do left brain approach now, not right brain. Okay. So tell me something about the proving of Shungite. What was the actual result from the frequency proving? Was it milder as symptoms, or was it the same as the real globule?
So first of all, in November last year, 2023, we arranged a global homeopathic summit, and the proving itself started at 7th of July 2023. By the way, it's interesting, it started, everything was related there to number 7. 7th of July, 7th month. If you take to consideration that 2023 altogether it's 7. I
want to show you something just for a second.
I'm impatient. I'm waiting for you. It is about 7 seconds. You are disappearing.
It's about 7 and 7. This is 7, and I found it on 14th of July, and I was like, 7 on the street, and I took it, and I thought that maybe it's something important. And
I will tell you, this is very important, and I will tell you why. Because we gave a remedy every 7th day. And first time people all around the globe received remedy or listened to the frequency at 7th of July, then 14 July, 21 July, 28th of July, 4 times in a sequence. Now, at Global Homeopathic Summit, Eileen Neumann and Chetna Shukla, you mentioned them in the beginning, in their talked about proving of Shungite, but especially Dr. Chetna Shukla, she was a master prover of this proving, brought a very wide and very colorful picture of Shungite. If you see on this black stone, by the way, since then, this is on my table, and I think that it should be on a table of every, not only homeopath, of every human being. If you will hear and see what this Shungite about, and what is energy about, and how it was created 700,000 years ago, and by what? By meeting some huge meteorite in an area of Karelia, which is in Russia. And it's a very interesting topic. Maybe we will talk once separately. But to your question, Chetna Shukla in her talk mentioned and even stressed there were no difference between globules and frequencies. There is no difference when you are talking about love. You feel it in different forms, but it's the expressions of love. can feel the same feeling of friendship, but you will find it in a different forms. Globals and frequencies are different forms of electromagnetic impulse or message or divine message could be or should be brought to people in a seek of not only healing, in a seek not only being of this planet, in a seek of love. And Shungite, like many other deep provings, shows us this level of understanding, which is deeper than just symptoms, just complex of symptoms, just a disease. I will tell you few symptoms of Shungite. For example, many people started to talk during the proving about previous generations, and generation were a topic, and generation and history. So this is the first thing. Many people talked about myths of different places. There were symptoms and topics improving, like father, importance of father, or importance of party, or importance of place where you were born.
The roots. Yeah, the roots and the ancestors.
Yeah, absolutely. And heredity. And at one place, in my group, for example, we had many groups all around the globe, and there were groups for globals and for frequencies. So in my group, people started to talk about real estate. And I was sure that maybe it's related to geographic place. In Russia, most of the provers were in Russia, and it was a difficult period there. But then it cleared up that not only my group, other groups talked about real estate as well. And then people talked about journeys, and people talk about a lot of things related to family. If you think about these symptoms from another point of view, it's not only a collection of symptoms. What is the relationship between real estate, which is something stable, which is something at one place and one time, and the huge meteorite came to the Earth and beat it 700,000 years ago? Sorry, 700,000 million years ago. 700 million years ago, something happened, and now people are waiting for, looking for real estate. And you know what is interesting? People who took provers, many provers, had problems with real estate, and these problems were resolved during the proving. It is like we can make a promotion now. If you have problems with real estate, we will give you a remedy, homeopathic remedy, Shungite, and it will release it. Now, the very important thing is that somebody is looking for real estate, and somebody is looking for journey. Somebody is too much in journey, in being smashed, tracked, and somebody is too much in restriction. And the remedy brought freedom in different levels. And it's only one example. We have so many examples there improving. And people can go to the Global Homeopathic Summit and see this wonderful lecture of Chetna Chukla and Eileen Norman and many others there.
Yeah, we'll put a link under our video. Yeah, that happened with me as well. The freedom and the choice between too much inhibition and tight the other way. So yeah, but let's not talk just about Shungite. And tell me about the future. How do you see it? I would love to be a part of your journey in Bulgaria with your idea to have a server for frequencies here. Tell me something more about this.
Actually, what we are talking about is development of homeopathy. It's not instead homeopathy. It is something what we want to bring as an additional tool. We have to understand that our world is changing so quickly. Who would expect 30 years ago, even when I started seminars to arrange in Bulgaria, that communication through this piece will be so, from one part easy, from another part, this is a burden, this is a wall between people. Now we are talking in Zoom. Thanks Zoom and thanks technology. But can you compare our meeting in this wonderful cafe store in Bulgaria, in Sofia, and this exchanging of ideas? And so this is another level. We have to use these technologies. We will use this technology, but let us not forget that there is another level between hearts, and this is our aim, not to forget for what we are developing this stuff. And can you imagine that if you will use these frequencies, for example, this morning somebody called me, my patient from another country, and she is after dentist procedure, and she's in pain. Now, I can tell her arnica, and I can send her to the pharmacy, and many thousands of homeopaths, millions of homeopaths around as well, not millions, you know that it is approximately 500,000 homeopaths, 500,000 homeopaths in the world approximately are working now in our times today on the planet. So can you imagine that this lady get her remedy in 10 seconds?
Yeah. just like that.
Or another case, I remember Friday, and you know, Friday in Israel, it's half day, and then we are preparing for Shabbat, and somebody called me noon, Friday noon, everything closed, and she said, my boy, he's suffering now. He has an earache, and I hear screaming there. And I just took few more symptoms, and I had the remedy. I had sent the remedy, and in 15 minutes, she's writing to me what it was. And I left her with this question and myself. So it is for us now how we will use it and where we are going from now.
So it will be affordable, it will be accessible, right? It's software, and we just need to have the app, maybe.
Everything you have to have is internet approach.
Okay, good. And maybe last question, not last, but yeah. Do you meet acceptance among our peers? Are people willing to change, to make this step further?
Okay, so another story, not last, but another story. When we started with using frequencies. One very famous homeopath in Russia, and he is a member of many societies, including writer societies, Russia, and he has a very good word and very sharp words. When we started, he wrote in the Facebook a pamphlet, what is going on, and I was a little bit, hurt personally, but we didn't have enough time for our personal emotions. Maybe it's very good to think what happened there. And little by little, he is quite open person, and he started to see that there are more and more evidences from the fields, from homeopaths he knows. So he started to ask questions, and once he said, "Look, I have to understand what is this." And a few days afterwards, he sent me an WhatsApp. "Please help me. I'm in an anaphylactic shock. I need Apis 200. We sent Apis 200 immediately. And what happened a few minutes afterward, ambulance came to his house, and he is a very famous doctor in his city. And he was smiling. He said, "Guys, thank you for coming. I would like to give you a tea." And they were like, "You are a doctor, you are a homeopath for dozens years of experience. What is a joke? It's not a good joke. And we are in a COVID, so many work to do." And he said, "Look, I just now took this remedy, frequency, and it helped me. It could be that you will come in a few minutes and you will find a corpse and not a live person. So let us celebrate." And since then, he started to use these frequencies and became not only advocate but ambassador of this method. I'm sure that who is ready will enjoy and will join and enjoy this adventure. And who is skeptical and have to have his own time to decide, we are very happy with all of possibilities.
Yeah, there are people who don't have smartphones, and I have some friends like that. It's normal. We accept that because, some people stay in the conservative part just to balance maybe our flight to the sky. Like the sky is the limit here, obviously. Is on Saturday, last Saturday, I was listening frequencies from demo from a Monroe Institute. Monroe Institute, they put some frequencies, you put your headphones, and the frequencies balance your right and left hemisphere. And it's amazing. Can you imagine? And now, yes, we can imagine, because we can send remedies, we can send frequencies to balance our brain, so we can change ourselves. Let's hope for that. Yeah. Thank you very much, Roman. It was an immense pleasure to speak with you. And I hope to see you soon in Bulgaria in person. And yes, keep in touch. And please, I want to be part of it.
Thank you very much. And for me, always to come to Bulgaria, it's to touch childhood, not only with taste of tomato or cherry, but there is something special in Bulgaria. I am so happy to think that I will be meeting you soon. Thank you very, very much.
Спасибо. До свидания.
До свидания.